What's up?
What's up, everybody?
Home of the hustle. Thursday. I'm going to wait a second here and let some folks jump in because the guest that I have on the show today is somebody that you're going to want to hear from. Not only the project that he's created, but his story and everything behind what he's got going on is something that you guys definitely need to hear. So I normally won't wait too long for this stuff to kick off, but I'm going to today. So share this out. I'm not seeing comments, which isn't good. When you hop in, give me a comment so I know you're here. Share it out. If I can't see comments, we'll just roll without them. Do you have your phone? Go ahead and hop onto the Home of the Hustle page, and then we can see comments through there. I'm assuming the four of you that are in here have shared this out. So if you don't know me, I'm Eddie Martin. Look, we had four, now we got two. I think something might be wrong with my deal.
Something's wrong with your deal. We have two comments.
Go ahead and hop
Turn the volume
onto
down.
the Home of the
Turn it
Might be
on.
wrong with my deal. Okay, cool. All right, so we're working. My phone's just not showing comments, so we'll see comments over here on Jaray's phone.
Krista Campbell.
Krista, what's up, Krista? Here. Yeah, go ahead and set that there. That works fantastic.
Let's do it like this. Sorry, guys.
All good.
There's my Sean Penn look there.
Sean Pan. So, who I have here with me today is Jaray Reed. Jaray Reed is the creator and co-founder of a new social media platform called Social Media Freedom. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk to Jaray about maybe a little bit about his backstory, what social media freedom is, what are the goals, what is the vision, what are the objectives, what's up, Titan? I see the Titans here. Share this out, por favor. I ain't gonna give you a gift. I'm just gonna expect the love. Now, here's a beautiful thing about shares, and I want to touch on this to give this a couple seconds. Sharing the love doesn't have to stay on your page for life, right? You share the stream out. What I do is I share it out so that my audience or my friends or my people, they jump onto the stream and support whatever it is that I'm supporting, and then the following day I delete it because it's really just to get more live engagement. So just kind of want to throw that out there. So here with Jaray, so give us a little bit of a background on SMF, where kind of it came from, where the idea started, and let's kind of start there because I think knowing the background is important.
Well, it actually started about 5.5 years ago, and I came up with an idea in my sleep, and it had actually really nothing to do with social media freedom. It was just a social media platform for a very niche group, and with a lot of dedication, a lot of perseverance, and the willingness to adapt, and the recent pivot to what it is today, social media freedom, is what it became today.
Cool. So it started out as a different concept.
A different company in its entirety.
Was not SMF, and then it kind of spawned off and blossomed into something else. It's like, I had a really good idea. Oh crap, I just made it a better idea.
Right.
All right, so let's restart there. So reboot, re-go, rebrand, and go at it that way. So
which is
how
a lot
long
of work.
ago? Yeah, dude, a lot of work. I can only imagine. So how long ago was that?
That was about, I'd say 14 months ago.
14 months ago when
Yep.
you switched the branding over to Social Media Freedom.
That's right.
But when you first came up with the concept of a social media platform, albeit for a different reason, that was what, like 5 years ago?
Yeah, 5.5 years ago is when I had the touch of whoever higher being, or the idea to wake up and jot all my ideas down on a legal pad, and then say, hey, I might have something here.
For sure. So it's been a grind for the last 5 years trying to get what your idea, your vision into something and off the ground. So
yeah, the greatest accomplishment, obviously, that we've had most recent, which was the approval process and being approved in Apple for our iOS app. Apple, as you guys know, they're very strict on their guidelines and rules and regulations on what apps are accepted into the App Store. And especially on one that has multi-functionalities, such as my platform, as well as the concept of it, what you can do with it, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. But it's such an amazing accomplishment, and we're really happy that Apple is taking a chance with us. So
That's awesome. So 5 years of grinding it out.
yeah,
You know, people think, you know, you come up with something, you launch it, you're good, you're a freaking millionaire, you help a bunch of people, and all this stuff happens overnight. But that ain't the case, and that's why most people have an idea, and if they do run with it, they don't see success right away, and so they scrap it, they give it up, and they go somewhere else. Not you. You went through it. You still grind and still get it done. How many jobs do you have right now?
I work 3 jobs.
3 jobs. Okay, 3 jobs, and then growing the platform on the side. On top of that.
Yep.
So your vision, your main thing is really your side thing, because life matters and life has to still exist.
It's not necessarily a side thing, as it takes precedence, whether simultaneously on top of all the jobs that I do, I work it in, so it is definitely full time.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Your main focus is something that isn't bringing you income is kind of the point.
And then also too, to touch on, you mentioned, it take the 5.5 years, or my timeline to now. They always state that most companies, it's usually the 7 to 10 year mark before they see anything. And I'm not a stranger to that as of now. As you guys can see, it's unfolding right in front of you. But one of the things I really don't anticipate, and anything can happen, but I really don't anticipate to make $1. It could take several years before I make my first $1.
Yeah.
With it, but I could make it tomorrow. It's just the nature of the beast of what we're doing.
Absolutely.
I mean, we could start growing at 100,000 users per minute tonight.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. So explain, what is social media freedom? Like, what is it? What's the premise? What's the concept behind it? What makes it different? What makes it unique?
Well, one of the things I want to start out with is that, we all have expectations of the future. All of us do. And we all worry about the future of what it holds. Some of us just go along our days just doing what we do, and we're happy and content with whatever the future brings to us. Some of us, we want to know what the future holds, and maybe we go to soothsayers and stuff like that, and they read our palms, right? But it really, you have to take a step back, is that the century that we live in, and the time that we live in right now, we are all in the internet age. We've been in it for about 20 years now, since the concept of the internet, which was believed was the early 90s.
Yeah.
And ever since up to now, we've been in an IT age. IT is self-driven, but now we're starting to make that transition where we're going into, maybe it's the next 30 years, but most of these things they take 50 years or more of their lifespan. It definitely doesn't mean it's ending, but it takes on to a new age where it picks up and grows from there. But we're going into a DT age, which is data-driven, which means it's for everyone else. So, if you think about it, our last century was the competition of muscle. It was, work hard, build stuff, things to happen.
Trades.
Yes, exactly. And now we're in the century where it's all about the competition of your mind. Mm-hmm. And in your mind, that's where you grow. You want to, right now, grow the quality of your brain. So I definitely, at this point in time, I feel like a blind man running on a blind tiger for what we're doing. But I definitely know our mission. I know I have my passion behind that mission, and I know what we want to do and what we're going to accomplish. There is great opportunity in social media. I've had many people come up to me and tell me that social media is saturated. We've got Facebook, we have your Instagram, we have Twitter, we have Snapchat, LinkedIn. We have all of these social media platforms, which are behemoths. They dominate the industry, and they're like, don't do another. Why would you do another social media platform? And to me, I see great opportunity. I've seen great opportunity, especially when I had the aha moment where a year and a half ago I pivoted to social media freedom. And that's because of the problem that I'm passionate about solving, and for all of you. That opportunity lies in a place where people complain. So the complaints have been, the censorship, and different industries such as our firearm industry, our gambling industry, tobacco, alcohol, and now the booming industry of marijuana. And there's many others, such as some political movements of our recent election that we just had with Donald Trump, now our president. Whether you like him or not, he is our president right now. But all of our different views, whether you're left or alt-right, whatever, or in between, social media is such a predominant place in our lives that you're living by their house, their rules. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with Facebook. In fact, I look up to Mark Zuckerberg. He's one of the people I look up to. And, whether you think that AOL was the first social media platform, or MySpace, or Friendster, or any of those other early cats.
Facebook was the first one to do it big.
Facebook is really the one to really take it to what we know today as social media. And, with 2.3 billion users, and growing strong, and they're growing their other aspects of it with Instagram and everything else that they're doing. And it shows proof today that as Snapchat's learning the hard way, you don't mess with Facebook.
No, you don't mess with Facebook.
But I think that it comes back to with the problem at hand and why I created social media freedom. So I mentioned the problem just a little bit, but there's these social media platforms that I just mentioned. They don't support the marginalized groups. You have to follow their rules and their regulations and their privacy statements and everything. And this also affects your freedoms, your freedom of speech, your freedom of expression, and that's not all your fault entirely as well. Most of these platforms are built for 13 and older. And I don't know about you, but I'm an adult, and if I go to the bar, I'm not taking my kids with me. No. So I also don't want to sometimes let my hair down, so to speak, and just be me and express and be an adult and laugh about certain things. It could be something as simple as South Park. I really wouldn't want my kids to watch South Park, even though it's a cartoon and it's whatever. But there's a lot of adult humor and things that I wouldn't want my kids to question me at this point in their stage in life. Even if they were 13, I would make sure they know and whatever. But that's not for this conversation. The conversation about it is that there's not a place for us to go. So when we have bars and we have all these things and all those places, especially with those marginalized groups. Well,
the way, not to cut you off real quick, but to just touch on your point. So first of all, share this out. Invite some people, get some people in here because they need to hear what's going on. We've been doing a slow ramp up to the information that's coming out because we need to get... Sorry, I got a phone call. We need to get some folks up in here so that JARAY can get this message out there. So JARAY says, I wouldn't take my kids to the bar, right? That's not a place for children. But the marketplace, the place where you and I and everybody else, regardless of your views, regardless of your opinions, regardless of where you put your money, if we broke down dollars and cents and where people spend money, there are a significant amount of groups that bring value to the marketplace, that drive dollars into the economy, that do not get to access or use this thing we call social media. So Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and every other freaking thing that you can come up with that's social media driven, those are driving dollars into businesses. They're driving businesses further and further. No one puts their ad money in CBS anymore. Not for the most part. What Pepsi spends billions of dollars.
I think it's ABC now, since they got rid of
whatever
Last
it
Man
is,
Standing.
dude, Fox.
With Tim Allen.
However it could be, people aren't putting their marketing dollars into those places anymore. I mean, we used to have signs, right? Or we would have radio, and then it was TV, and then there was billboards, and there's all this stuff. Well, social media is the place where people market, where people advertise, where you and I, anybody that's on this stream right now can grow their business. If you are in this section of the economy where I don't have to believe in it or agree with it or sign off on whatever their industry may be. The proof is in the pudding. Dollars are being spent. But these people do not have a place to put those dollars. They don't have a place to push out into the market that everybody else does. So what JARAY has done is he has built something that all of these large dollar and community-driven organizations have built a place for them so that they can play in the same space and play the same game and the same rules as everybody else does. Look, if I sell cars, you know I can sell cars on Facebook. If I sell guns, you won't know that. But how many guns get sold in the United States every year?
A lot.
The pot industry, whether you agree with it or you don't agree with it, medical marijuana industry is huge. The amount of money that's getting pumped into the economy because of that is gigantic. And
our lotteries are state lotteries too, as well.
It's crazy. Like gambling, all these different things. But they can't market on social media, so they're missing the boat on something that everybody else gets access to. So that's where I see the beauty.
They can't market on Google or Bing as well too.
Yeah.
And that's our search engines, which is what we go to firsthand before most of the time. We either go to our search engine or we go straight to social media, the majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to touch on base and the problem too. A lot of this affects your, not only just all of that in the marginalized groups, but it affects your views, your news, and your entertainment. We've had such a problem with everybody saying this whole fake news thing. Well, you know what? Fake news has been around for forever.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, look at the National Enquirers with the UFOs and the little green men or silver men or whatever, gray men on the front saying, little Sally Mae down in Kansas was abducted the other day, and it makes the front page of the National Enquirer. I mean, you can even take it to where you highlight the certain things that decode it into a secret message that you think just like Men in Black. But, the fake news is there, and it's always going to be there. But, those people too, I mean, if it causes problems, the only reason it's causing so many problems is because of the ability and the reach that they have now with the internet and with social media. And, people are quick to jump to conclusions without taking, analyzing the facts or the information that's been provided.
Dude, I've seen it on Facebook, bro. It's got to be true.
So, well, maybe we'll get to the point to where people say, oh, I've seen it on social media freedom. I don't know if it's true. Who knows? But we hope, we definitely stand for a lot of all those freedoms and the right to freedom of press and a freedom of speech and your freedom and right to bear arms. We support that here on Social Media Freedom. I'm very passionate about it. I am a military war vet. I served in the military in the United States Army, and I did my tours and did my time, saw combat, and I seen third world countries and things that a lot of people don't see firsthand. So through all of that, I definitely am even that much more passionate about what I'm doing, for the simple fact that I didn't fight not just for that, for our country's freedom, but I want to fight, and I want to do something for not just us here in America, but everybody that has internet access and social media. And that goes right back to what I was talking about, the IT age and the DT age. And, social media freedom and myself, we care for others and not ourselves. And that is a real difference between IT and DT.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I mean, okay, so I'm pretty sure the 20 and under things jumping around as far as people on here, this is all U.S. based, right? Probably most likely everybody that's watching this right now is in the United States. We live in a free country, right?
We do.
But freedom of media, freedom of speech, freedom of these things are really, they really, really are restricted. It blows my mind that something like this on a grand scale does not exist, has not existed. So to be able to bring something like this to the marketplace and to the people is huge. I mean, how many, let me ask you guys a question real quick. Let's find out what's going on in here, okay? How many of you guys out of this 19 people that are in here are veterans or are family of veterans, all right?
I always learn.
Let me get a 1 in the comments if you're a veteran or if you're anybody in your family is a veteran. And I'm going to let this hang for a second. I want to see. I got the other phone right here. I can see the comments because I can't see them on my phone. Right? Krista is. Mark Elkill, of course he is. So my point here is that Tim, Turbo Tim, Ginger, Andrew, I would venture to guess that all 21 of you in here either are military veterans or have family
That's
who
good.
are
Thank you
military
for your service,
veterans.
everybody.
Thank every last one of you for your service. Now share the stream because this is what needs to be heard. It's what needs to be said. So my uncle died in World War II. My grandfather was in World War II. My dad was in Vietnam. I have a military background family. I wasn't in the military. But so my family has died. Family members have died for the rights that the country represents. So it's only right that in this day and age, if this is the way media rolls, that those rights need to be able to be represented. And of course, they need to be represented in an 18 and older platform. But it's about time, man. I'm blessed to have met this dude. And the fact that he's doing this says it's a lot. It's huge.
You talk about, and thank you for their service too as well, your families. And, freedom isn't free. And, a lot of people have paid the ultimate price for freedom, whether they're scarred from war or they lost their lives on a battlefield, or, people that stand up for what's right. Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, for equality and what they went through for freedom, so that we, certain races and certain people, we have standards and human rights that we all should be. And it's a big world, but it's actually smaller than we all think. And my goal, one of my main mission statement with social media freedom is to really connect everybody on a place where we can all just be who we are. We all do that every day as it is now, and we think that we're doing it on all these other social media platforms, but as adults, you're not. You're actually being very, very censored and restricted on what you can and can't say and do.
But at the same time, like, this isn't something about like Facebook is bad or any of these things are bad, because they're absolutely not. Like, if you don't represent or you don't freedom is supporting the things that you don't necessarily agree with. That's what freedom is. If we live in a free country, then I have to support your opinion even if I don't agree with it, right? So your views may not be restricted on Facebook. Maybe like you don't express the fact that you feel this way or you feel that way, and that's okay. You don't publicly express that, and you have a place for you to be able to do that. But if you represent what freedom is, then you have to accept the fact that you have to accept my opinion. You don't have to like it. You have to accept JARAY's opinion. You don't have to like it. And that could be like complete polar opposites, like hardcore Bible Belt Christian versus, a Muslim or whatever. Like, I don't know what the opposite is. But the point is, if you believe in freedom, then you represent, you have to believe in what somebody who does not agree with your opinion believes in, because it is their right.
That's right.
So it's just, there's a time and a place, and there's a place for everything. It's just that there hasn't been a place yet. And social media is media, and now there's a place.
And that's the solution is exactly social media freedom. Connects the marginalized groups. We don't silence them, and we support our youth. We support the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, whether that's through text, photo, video, or disappearing posts. A lot of the great features that you love on a lot across the platforms, we have that on right now on our version 1.0 on social media freedom on our apps. We actually just started today on some maintenance issues to constantly make sure that we're always making sure you get the best experience that you can on with all of our functionalities on social media freedom.
And they can get those right now. Like, all of you guys on here can download Social Media Freedom on Google Play. You can download it on the App Store, iTunes App Store. So I just want to make sure to point that out in case people pop in here that don't know. You can go download and get on the platform now. It exists. It is there.
Yep.
Support it.
And you can just put in your search bar Social Media Freedom, and it should populate. And it's going to take really all of us sharing it, being the early adopters and advocates for freedom of social media, not just social media freedom, to help it go viral and help it become a prominent figure in the app stores, hit the top spots. Leave a review, share with your friends. Even if you don't support marginalized groups, we have tribes. Tribes is our answer to Facebook groups. Tribes are, you think of it as we're all part of a local family. That makes us a tribe. We all have similar interests, whether it be from snowboarding, disc golf, hockey, basketball, and even in this case, it could be marginalized groups such as the firearm industry, marijuana, so forth.
Maybe it's training.
And it was actually just the other day, I created a gun owners tribe for all 50 states in the United States. So you can go into these tribes and talk with people in your state and invite them to join. They're public, and you can post at free will. Buy, sell, trade firearms if you want to amongst each other in the tribes. You can do it out in the open. It doesn't have to be in the tribe. As well as talk about your gun rights and your Second Amendment. So
what I'm hearing is if you don't support freedom of social media, not necessarily social media freedom, but if you don't support it, it's not American. That's what I'm hearing. If you don't like SMF, you don't like America.
We're more than just Americans. We're Chinese. We're Koreans. We're Australians. We're English, French, German. Doesn't matter. We're all people. We're all human beings, and we all use social media, and we all use.
Yeah, but every country's not free, dude.
Well, one of the great things about social media freedom is that we are compliant both on our national level as well as the international level. So when I created this, I thought just not small, and it's one of those things too for a lot of you entrepreneurs out there, whether you're young or you're seasoned veterans as entrepreneurs, is when you scale small and then to scale big. I kind of did the exact opposite. So I don't know. Big, we'll see, but
go big.
Yeah, we're definitely thinking big.
Sokol says he never leaves his house without his 9 or his 45. I'm assuming your ass is already signed up for social media freedom, Mr. Sokol. What's up, Michael? Hey, shout out to everybody who shared the damn thing. We appreciate that. If you haven't shared, please share. Support what Jaray's going on. What Jaray's got going on. Download the apps in the App Store. Social media freedom, doesn't matter what phone you have. Well, I guess it does, because if you have like a BlackBerry or a Windows phone,
I know, yeah.
You're lost as it is. But I would suggest, step one is go throw that phone in the garbage, and then go get a real phone.
We forgot our black leather gloves, everybody. Sorry. Prestige worldwide.
So, the law is in the building. He's holding up the home of the hustle. So, where is SMF going right now? Right. So the Google Play is live. It's been live for about a month.
Yep.
Okay. Apple is obviously the harder one to get through. If you can get your app, especially a social media app, on the App Store for Apple, that alone is like huge accomplishment.
Huge.
Right? Huge. Frickin' huge. So what's next? In my opinion, what's next is now you've overcome those hurdles. And you tell me if I'm wrong here. you've overcome those hurdles of getting this thing on the App Store. So where we're at now, where you're at now, and I'm just an advocate, is users, right? So we, you, the team, the community, the people need users on the platform. You need people to tell people to get on the platform, because the more people that are on the platform, the more that it helps everybody, not only those marginalized groups, but also, you know, other people as well. I mean, think about, we move our whole communities around. We don't leave the ones that we're in, but we move those over here. We support, we represent each other, and we tell our friends and family about it. So is that the next step, is growing users, or is there something that I'm missing?
Yes, it definitely is, you know, creating a user base. The one thing that's extremely important, and it will always be important to me, no matter how big SMF gets, is to be as transparent as possible, and to always listen to our community, our users, and that are part of SMF. And the reason why is because there may be things that you don't like, or, you know, and I want to be able to, it's going to be pretty difficult to answer. I mean, even 100th, if we grow to, and we're blessed enough to hit that milestone of 100,000 users or beyond, you know, it's going to be pretty difficult to answer all 100,000 people, just myself. But I'll do the best that I can to always be there and hear everybody gripes, complaints, and, you know, try to solve them and create an atmosphere and a platform that everybody's proud of and they want to come back and use on a day-to-day basis. You know, because once again, the mission statement is to create freedom for all of you. This is for you. Social media freedom is for you. It's for the marginalized groups. It's for the small, big, large businesses within these marginalized groups, and to give them a place to call home on social media and beyond. So it's all about growing the users. We obviously need people to be on the platform, to use it, to get it to the next steps.
Well, here's kind of what I'm thinking, right? So we say, okay, it's for marginalized groups. I'm not a member of a marginalized group, okay? The company that I work for, we train the world. We help the people who train people to train the world and to scale their businesses. Legitimate businesses, regardless if they're marginalized or not, need my services, okay? So I don't have to be a member of a marginalized group to be able to access those networks. You're in construction, okay? Maybe you're a construction company, you're an electrician, you're whatever you may be. Your market's there. And what's more beautiful? You want to be the first one at the party, right? And when everybody shows up, they're like, oh man, you know, who's this guy? He sells so-and-so. He's an electrical contractor. You know how many of these people that are involved in marginalized groups need electrical contractors? Okay, so we're just talking business here. So you want to connect with the groups that aren't getting representation. Anybody who is in my network understands the value of leveraging their network, and you meet people that you never would have met in industries that you never would have been around. So it's for marginalized groups, and I know that's JARAY's like mission statement. That is who it is for. That's who's not getting any representation. But let's like look at the bigger picture from the outside. Those marginalized groups need shit from people who are not involved in marginalized groups. So it's for you. It's for everybody.
It is for everybody. But let's face it. We're back to, you know, right at square one where I'm at right now. You know, I can't go out there and just shake everybody's hand and everybody, and even if I knew everybody and everybody knew me, you know, not everybody's like jump the gun and believe in what I'm doing and want to be part of it right now. You know, that if that was the case, I knew that I was going to create this, and right off the bat I was going to be bigger than Facebook. That's ludicrous and ridiculous to say on a realistic level, on many levels, especially right now. But in order to, you know, grow the platform, and one of the reasons why there's no limitations there's very little limitations as far as what you can do on social media and with social media freedom. and it's going to take that growth from everybody, but with a focus on the groups that let them know that they have a place to come to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that construction workers and Starbucks and car dealers and whoever else,
I
ice
go
cream
where
shops,
the money goes,
are not going to be able to come to social media freedom and be able to be on there as well.
For sure.
Looks like my beautiful fiance is on here. It takes a village to be successful. We all need to support one another. That's it is 100%.
Absolutely. So yes, the marginalized groups are the ones that aren't getting representation. So you can't go out and shake every hand and kiss every baby and do all that kind of stuff right now. It's impossible. So your target audience is those marginalized groups, okay? But if I'm a marginalized group, I want to see that there's people. I want to see that there's people that like all kinds of different stuff. Because and then I'm going to be doing things. I'm all up in there. So
well, let's face it,
I'm just encouraging you guys, regardless. I don't want anybody to think that just because you may not be in a marginalized group that the platform is not for you, because it absolutely is. The caring craftsman does windows. Okay.
Well, that goes along with the point of freedom of speech and freedom of expression, because with that, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a gun owner or smoke marijuana to be on the platform. But if you want a place where you can freely express yourself, no matter what your views are or what you do, or your likes or interests, you have a place to call home on social media freedom. And we're all adults here, and that's what we look like in social media freedom too as well. So
it's awesome.
Find a tribe, create one. It could be your local book club for your street, for your community, and you want to get everybody in there that's all women and talk about your favorite book of the week, post pictures, videos, and stuff like that, because as busy moms, and especially with all of us being busy nowadays, it could be very difficult for everyone to meet up at a location face to face. Well, now you have a place where you can do that as we're all busy and on the go most of the time through your mobile devices.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Mindy makes a good point here in the comments. She says, or if you're just over Facebook, tired of Facebook, tired of everything else, like
you're tired of Facebook jail.
There's a new home.
I know a lot of people that
Facebook jail is real.
Yeah.
It is real. That's why we had to turn the music off. I ain't trying to go to jail.
See, James Weaver is a gun owner.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And he also does windows and sighting. That's what he said in there.
Yeah. He
created 2 tribes, one for his business and one for his personal.
There you go, guys. So go on there and join it up and see what it's all about, and see if it's a place that you want to be, and see if you guys have the same views, and there you go.
So before we leave the stream, I want to know if you guys have any questions for JARAY, or questions in general, and we'll kind of wind it down after that. So if you have not downloaded the app in the App Store, it's on Google Play. It's in the App Store for Apple. Go do that. Get involved. Find tribes. Find people. Come find me. Come find JARAY. Find anybody that's on here. Find anybody that is on here right now in the stream. If you're on SMF already, put a 1 in the comments so people know that you're on there and they can go find you.
And just to let everybody know, while we're waiting for some questions to pop up, I've been approached by so many people whether that have told me, this is never going to work. You're going up against people like Facebook. You're located in Las Vegas. Why not Silicon Valley? Why not Berlin? Other tech hubs and tech spots. And my thing to it is that it doesn't matter where you're located at, where your business is located at, or where you start your business, or how you're going about it. It matters what you believe, and it's where your heart is. Your heart is all that matters in this, and of course a bunch of other factors, timing and capital and all that stuff. But if you have the will and the drive to do it, and the perseverance, and you'll overcome any obstacle that's in your way, and you'll make it happen.
Absolutely.
You'll work 3 jobs, 4, 5. You'll do whatever it takes because you're passionate about solving the problem and what you can bring to others.
James Weaver wants to know, how else can I support SMF? I'll tell you exactly how you can support SMF.
Exactly.
All right, dude, I can tell you exactly right now. Listen, you hit me in the DM with advertisements for what you're doing and your business and what you got going on. Tell everybody that you know. Everybody you know, everybody you don't know, everybody in your network, everybody in your network that they need to get onto SMF. That is the most that you could possibly do, and that's not just for James, that's for everybody. Do everything that you can.
And, while you're doing it too, make sure that, you could tell them where they can find you. Tell them your handle, tell them the tribes that you've created. Give them a helping hand. Don't just point to the door and say the door is over there. I mean, the door could open outwards instead of inwards. And you want to be able to show them that and give them a helping hand.
That way they don't just run into the door?
Exactly, 100%. So, tell them, say, hey, man, I'll give you a walkthrough on what it's all about.
So Joe Lopez just came in, and we're gonna jump off Joe, but I want you to know that this is JARAY Reed. He is the founder, co-founder, creator of a new social media platform called Social Media Freedom. It is 18 and over platform designed to represent marginalized groups that do not get representation on mainstream social media. It's a long time coming. It's unbelievable that it doesn't exist already, and I'm blessed to know the guy who's bringing the damn thing to the table. So that's what it is. So go to your app store, whether you have an Android phone or you have a smartphone, an iPhone, and put in Social Media Freedom, download it, set it up, come find me, come find JARAY, find everybody that put a 1 in the comments in here in the stream.
Our vets.
And go find them, all the vets, everybody, support it, support it, support it. That's all I got, dude. You got some closing thoughts?
Just to close out is that if no matter how big or small your dream, whatever you're doing, you can do it. I'm living proof of that. You're all blessed because you get to see it firsthand. Whether I become as big as Facebook or Mark Zuckerberg, people that I look up to, such as Jack Ma, Bill Gates, Larry Page, all of these big tech founders, Steve Jobs, and so forth. I look up to all these guys, and us in that sector, we want to solve problems. We want to solve and make the world a better place as much as we can with what we're doing with technology. And that's no different than what I want to do for you guys. And you get to see it where it's just coming out of my, so to speak, Harvard dorm room. Mm-hmm. So you guys get to see that right now.
Except it's a house in Vegas.
And, I'm not going to stop. And I implore all of you to not stop on what you guys believe in your dreams as well. Just keep going. It's going to get hard. It's going to be rough. That's life. Life is going to throw as much as it can at you. But life doesn't care about you.
Yeah, no one cares.
People, they don't care. So, and it's not all about luck. If it was luck or anything, you just got to have faith. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to be able to do that because when the time gets tough, you're going to be the only person that's going to push yourself and keep dragging yourself through the mud and the barbed wire underneath the fire of your enemy shooting as much as they can at you. And then one day you're going to wake up and you're going to say, hey, I accomplished this. And then the next thing you know, you're going to be, wow, I got here. And you're going to be that much more thankful of it that you persevered and made it all the way through it to make it happen.
Absolutely. I like what Gary Vee says. Stop complaining. Nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody gives a flying fuck. That is true.
I will leave you guys with that. If shit's going bad for you, nobody gives a fuck. Keep working. Keep doing. Keep going. Sign up for Social Media Freedom. Support the cause. Support my man right here. Support freedom. And let's all make this stuff happen, man. We're all in this together.
Amen.
So you guys have a fantastic night. If you don't know JARAY Reed, follow JARAY Reed.
At JARAY Reed.
At JARAY Reed. And then go to Social Media Freedom here on Facebook because that's how we do it. At Social Media Freedom, go like the page. Go to SMF, get yourself an account, get in a tribe, come find us. Let's connect. So have a great day. Tell all your friends. See ya.
Bye, guys.